Oh, yeah. Golden Redemption. Revenge never looked so sweeter. What do I mean? Well, I'll discuss that and more in the casing of one Simone Biles. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Show with Cole Johnson on Roku TV and the BS3TVLive.com. Also on BS3 Morning Show Cole Johnson YouTube channel. And you're listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. And the program begins right now. Well, good morning, Shifter. It is the last day of July. Does not sound right to actually say that. We've already come upon the end of July. Yes, it is July 31st, 2024, a Wednesday. And welcome to the Morning Show with Cole Johnson. Product by the BS3 Network. I am Cole Johnson. And for the next 60 minutes, sit back and relax as we get and keep you informed, enlightened, engaged, even entertained, and spiritually fed. Now, along with the U.S. women's gymnastics team getting gold in Paris, we're also going to touch on a fire, one of the biggest in the history of California, how it was started, and what was the excuse of it. And also, enlighten the way, we will touch on what it's like being a winner. I was thinking about Curtis Mayfield, You're a Winner. I was like, let me see if I can touch on something of that nature and lighting the way. All of that is for later. But for now, let me start you up. And here's what's taking place in the world today. A federal judge directed the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, to devise a plan to protect Jewish students' equal access to campus facilities in case of disruptive events, such as the protests against the Israel-Hamas war that erupted during the spring. U.S. District Court Judge Mark C. Scarsi gave UCLA and 3 Jewish students who sued the school a week to agree to a plan, saying, quote, "Meet and confer to see if you can come up with some agreeable stipulated injunction or some other court order that would give both UCLA the flexibility it needs, but also provide Jewish students on the campus some reassurance that their free exercise rights are not going to play second fiddle to anything else." Close quote. And that was said to the Los Angeles Times. A 17-year-old Nebraska boy is facing family charges after he was accused of derailing a train and then posting it on YouTube. The Bennett, Nebraska native was charged in Lancaster County Juvenile Court last week. The prosecutors have filed to get the case moved to adult court, according to documents obtained by multiple local outlets. The teen is accused of tampering with the components of a railway on April 21st, causing a BNSF railway train loaded with coal to derail. Investigators said the resulting damage to 2 locomotives and 5 cars totaled around $350,000, according to KLKN TV and WVIT TV. Derailing a train, and you post on you. Come on, stop. I'm sorry. Following a more than 24-hour intense search, police in Maryland said that they recovered the body of a 6-year-old autistic boy who vanished at a park over the weekend. The chap who was nonverbal, disappeared from a Montgomery County park while on an outing with his family. The boy was reported missing from Bora Park around 3 on Saturday, according to the Montgomery County Department of Police. The park is in Gaithersburg, and if you're not familiar with that area, it is 20 miles northwest of Washington, D.C. Nearly half of Maui residents say their financial situation has worsened since the Lahaina fire, and 1 in 5 are, quote, seriously considering, close quote, leaving the state, according to a new report that paints a troubling picture of the challenges facing the fire survivors in the county as a whole. More than two-thirds of the fire survivors have struggled to afford groceries in the last year, and half of them have cut back on medical care for financial reasons. Lead researcher of the Maui Together Wildfire Assessment, Lisa Grove, said, quote, we don't use the word poverty very often to talk about the situations in Maui County, and we should, close quote. More than 2,000 county residents and 1,000 fire survivors participated in the assessment, which is being published by the Hawaii State Rural Health Association and drew on both written surveys and in-person and online focus groups. After 5 years as the face of CBS Evening News, Nora O'Donnell will step away from the program as the anchor later this year. The 50-year-old woman is sharing the news with staff shared the news with the staff on a Monday call. The network has not named her replacement yet. Now, she released a statement talking about her departure, or I should say her stepping down of her current role, her pending stepping down, I should say, stating, quote, after this year's election, I've decided I'll be leaving my role as anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News to take on a new position at the network. We just celebrated an amazing 5 years together. I love what I do, and I am so fortunate to work with the best journalists and people in the business. I spent 12 years in the anchor chair here at CBS News, connected to a daily broadcast and the rigors of a relentless news cycle. It's time to do something different. This presidential election will be my 7th as a journalist, and for many of us in this business, we tend to look at our careers in terms of these milestone events. I am committed to anchoring all of our major coverage this year, election night, and hopefully a debate, close quote, in the coming months in her new role. She says that she'll remain as a contributor to the evening news and other programming, of course, such as 60 Minutes as a correspondent. American Spices of Ozone Park, New York is recalling a Spice Class brand ground cinnamon. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the ground cinnamon is potentially contaminated with elevated levels of lead. Spice Class brand of ground cinnamon was distributed to retailers in New York City between December 2023 and May of 2024. So far, no illnesses have been reported. Spice Class brand ground cinnamon. It's packed in 7 ounces and 11 ounce packing PET jars with expiration dates of December 2026, according to the FDA. The product was not sold online. An analysis by the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets revealed that the product contained elevated levels of lead, and since this discovery, the company stopped producing and distributing the product. The FDA and American Spices are investigating the cause of the lead contamination. Those who don't know the tale of Dutch beach volleyballer Steven van der Velde, I envy him. It's the nastiest storyline going in regard to the proud athletes of these Paris Games, and it could have been avoided had someone stood up for what is right, but no one has. All the way from the Netherlands to the International Olympic Committee. In 2014, van der Velde, then 19, traveled to Milton Keynes, England, to see a 12-year-old that he'd met online. According to the MK Citizens 2016 account of the trial, van der Velde knew of her age, took her virginity, and authorities were notified when she sought the morning after pill. Repeat. She was 12 years old. So, on a flawlessly beautiful sunny Sunday morning at the base of Eiffel Tower, a convicted child rapist played and lost to an Olympic beach volleyball match. And Shakira Richardson in 2021 couldn't participate in the Olympics because she blew trees. Come on now. Make it make sense. Lord have mercy. The following sports update is brought to you by the Playmakers Blog Network. To the NFL, shall we? And the Bears and DJ Moore, they agreed to a 4-year, $110 million extension. That is actually the largest extension in franchise history, including an $82.6 million guarantee on that contract. Oh, and contrary to popular opinion and contrary to Caleb Williams wanting to do it, he will not play. That's the Bears, of course. He will not play along with the starters in the upcoming All-Star game. Upcoming Hall of Fame game, which will be tomorrow. And staying in the NFC North, the Lions defensive end, John Kaminsky, he suffered a torn MCL. Unfortunately, that is it for him this year. From the gridiron to the diamond, the Dodgers acquired right-handed pitcher Jack Flaherty from the Tigers. They also acquired 4-time Gold Glove winner center fielder Kevin Kiermaier from the Blue Jays. The Angels also shut down rehab of Mike Trout after an unfortunate setback. Wow, I hate that. Jeez. The following Olympic update is also brought to you by the Playmakers Blog Network. All right, let's start with the rugby action. So the USA Women's Rugby 17, they clinched bronze medal on the final play against Australia, snapping a 100-year drought in all of the Olympic rugby play for the U.S. The last time they actually garnered any type of medal, it was the men who did so in 1924. To the soccer field, and the USA men's under-23 soccer team, they defeated Guinea 3-0 to reach the Olympic quarterfinals. And the redemption tour is complete for the gymnastics team, and we'll touch on that later. Team USA men's basketball, they'll take to the court later today, 3 p.m. daylight time, 9 p.m. Paris daylight time, as they go, 8 p.m. as they go against South Sudan. That will be televised on ABC and Peacock. The USA women's national soccer team, they'll take the field against Australia. Yeah, I like this music. It's kind of nice. It's nice. It's real nice. The following weather update is brought to you by the Weather Channel. At the Pacific Northwest, it will be mostly cloudy skies with a high of 74 degrees in Seattle. It will be partly cloudy and 89 in Minneapolis. It will be partly cloudy and 88 in Chicago. Partly cloudy and 96 in St. Louis. It will be cloudy and 84 in Detroit. Over on the East Coast, it will be partly cloudy skies and 87 in Boston. Partly cloudy and 86 in New York. Cloudy and 89 in Washington. Down south, it will be all the rain you can handle in 89 at South Beach. Thunderstorms in 88 in Atlanta. Partly cloudy skies and 95 in Memphis. Partly cloudy and 93 in New Orleans. Down in the Southwest, it will be partly cloudy and 94 in San Antonio. Partly cloudy and 97 in Dallas. Partly cloudy and 94 in Houston. Over in the Rockies, it will be mostly sunny skies and 98 in Denver. In the desert, it will be a tie for the hottest in the country. Partly cloudy skies at 107 in Phoenix, sunny skies at 107 in Las Vegas. And over on the West Coast, it'll be sunny skies and 84 in Los Angeles. It'll be partly cloudy skies with a high of 69 degrees in San Francisco. That is your look on weather for today, and now you've been properly started up. Coming up later in a reversal of fortune, Simone Biles takes gold, possibly for the first time in the Parisian Olympic Games. We'll touch on that in our cover story. and we'll touch on what it's like to be a winner in Lighten the Way. But coming up next, California Fire. I feel bad for that unit as they try to squelch a fire that was started by an accident. Goodness gracious. You're watching BS3 presents the morning shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. And you're listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network. We'll be right back right after this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. The moderator.
As woman, you can't be too friendly because the minute you're friendly, then they think you're flirting.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. The moderator.
As woman, you can't be too friendly because the minute you're friendly, then they think you're flirting.
The level head.
So that thing is over. So I'm not looking at men like that anymore.
The truth slayer.
Okay, what in the HPV yeast infection is going on over here?
The X Factor.
So I'd rather you tell me everything up front and let's start fresh.
The intersection of life and spirituality never sounded this good. BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
If you want to watch a wonderful program where you will learn something about yourself in life, join my man James Lipton, Wizelefe, and a guest of his choosing as they go through life and you will learn something. Stuck in My Mind podcast. You can catch it live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on the Roku TV via BS3 and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. That's Stuck in My Mind podcast live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app and BS3 TV Live and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. Well, welcome back to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. It's powered by the BS3 Network. I am Cole Johnson, and if you want to be a part of Shift Nation, that's a simple answer for that. Just join the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, and you'll do it every morning. But catch this show live every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central on the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and you will be a part of Shift Nation. Like my man Snowman right here, where he says, "Good morning, Shift Nation." Biles is back with a vengeance. And today is my baby boy Dakota's birthday. Happy birthday, Dakota. And if you want to probably catch a little more on what happened in Paris with the U.S. gymnastics team capturing gold and other stuff along with it in the world of sports, join my man Snowman, the super producer, the big dog Shane Lake, and Vicala, or the Ed McMahon of the Snowman in the Morning team, or Victor Locke. Snowman in the Morning on Snowman Multimedia, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And Ryan McCarthy, no credentials required fame, says, "Good morning, fellow shifters. Good morning to you, my devoted shifter. I'm so glad that you're here, as always, Ryan." And you can catch him every Tuesday. No, you actually can catch this broadcast of No Credentials Required on the No Creds, that's CREDSREQ, YouTube channel tonight, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, 7:05 p.m. Central. They're wonderful. He and Dustin Henry, wonderful show, wonderful men, and I appreciate the both of them. Now, what I don't appreciate is the person who seems to want to find something or someone to blame for a huge mistake that is costing millions. And it's probably costing lives as we speak. In today's program Spotlight, we will touch on the fire that keeps on blazing, and it's one of the most catastrophic in California history that started earlier this summer. A Northern California man charged with arson in one of the largest fires in state history. The night claims that he pushed a burning car down an embankment, which ignited the blaze, which has forced evacuation of more than 25,000 people in 4 counties in California. Ronnie Dean Stott, the second charge Monday with reckless arson and related charges, was being held pending completion of his arraignment on Thursday. The park fire continued to expand, and as of Tuesday, burned 600 square miles in Tehama and Butte counties. It was only 14% contained as of the last update yesterday around noon Pacific time by the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, or CAL FIRE. The fire ignited last Wednesday in Upper Bidwell Park, a 3,600-acre municipal park in Chico in Butte County, although the blaze has mostly been burning in Tehama County. Additional evacuations in nearby Shasta County were ordered yesterday. Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey said at a briefing, quote, "This didn't have to happen," close quote. He said Stott pulled over to the side of the road, but went over a berm and into grass. Ramsey said the fire started when Stott revved up his car engine trying to drive out. Witnesses said that they saw Stout watch his car burn and then push it backwards. Ramsey said Stout claims he didn't push the car down the embankment, but panicked, then fled the scene. Ramsey went on to say in a statement, quote, "The car went down the embankment approximately 60 feet and burned completely, spreading flames that caused the park fire." Close quote. The suspect, Ramsey said, then, quote, "was seen calmly leaving the area by blending in with the other citizens who were in the area and fleeing the rapidly evolving fire," close quote. Ramsey's office has said that Stout has 2 previous serious felonies on his record, which would make him subject to at least a 25-year prison sentence if convicted of felony under California's 3 strikes law. Now, here are the developments of this fire. Now, more than 5,000 firefighters were battling the fire, which has burned in Tehoma County. 330,000 acres of it has burned there. 53,000 more acres in Bud County has been burned from this fire. The blaze has destroyed at least 165 homes, businesses, and other structures, plus damaged other establishments and buildings. And some evacuations were ordered in Shasta and Plumas counties as well. Shasta County Sheriff Michael Johnson said evacuation orders have been downgraded to warnings in some areas. Goodness gracious. The park fire has spread rapidly, and it was fueled by dry vegetation resulting from weeks of record heat. Climate scientist Daniel Swain said that although data is insufficient to confirm the claims of the weather, it has been the hottest in thousands of years, saying, quote, "We can also refute the myriad claims I have been seeing lately that it was hot like this all the time when I was a kid," close quote. Tehoma County Sheriff David Kane, he asked evacuees to be patient, saying many areas have appeared ready for residents to return, only to erupt in flames yet again. Quote, "This fire is extremely unstable and unpredictable," close quote. Well, what do I have to say about this? Congratulations, Mr. Stout II. Because of this being an accident that you said that you did not push a burning car down an embankment, you, my friend, have contributed to the 5th largest fire in California history. All while you tried to get your car started, you didn't, and you were irresponsible in taking care of the fire that blazed in front of you. And all you had to do was just try to get the fire out. No, instead, you just discarded the car, pushed it down the embankment, and look at the pictures you see right before you. Either the area is full of smoke, or is in orange, or is in yellow, or is in red, or is in the combination thereof because of your, how can I put this? Carelessness. And now people are left to pick up the mess or put out the fire, thanks to you. Oh my gosh. And that concludes today's program Spotlight. My goodness. Well, hopefully these 4 won't talk about the Cal Fire, but they will talk about things of life and spirituality. Join Grace, Kim, Tanya, and Felicia as the 4 women discuss life with a spirituality bent. Life happens, and it is live today and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. That's Life Happens live this Wednesday and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. Coming up next, redemption probably never tasted, looked, felt, nor sounded this good. What am I talking about? You have to do it on the other side. You're watching BS3 Presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. And you're listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. We will return right after this.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Williams stood 1-2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Adrian Shawan.
There was a man talking about where the homebodies at, where the women at, and the women was stitching it and was like, we at home.
Scotty Knox.
Another pet peeve of mine, right? First date, if you show up with the ponytail that come out at the top of your head, it will not be a second date.
Butler.
I want people to think independently and freely. She's not. $100 for lunch. I almost got up and walked off.
A show that asks only one question. Is it Wednesday yet? Live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central.
See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is rare and they ain't moving like we moving, and everywhere we go.
Welcome back to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BS3 Network. I'm Cole Johnson, and Shifter, I thank you. I thank you for being here with me. I'm glad that you're sharing this space with me, and I'm glad that the BS3 Network is sharing this space with me. I'm glad the Real Wise Radio Network is believing in this program as well, and I'm glad that you, most importantly, Shifter, you believe in this program. Now, from an event that I don't want to talk about as much to an event that I would love to talk about all the time. And that is a woman who was getting the business end of a lot of hate 3 years back to now literally being the darling of the country yet again. Simone Biles led, and I think it's proper to actually say led, her team, the women's gymnastics team, to a gold medal, the second time that she has done it in her career. The first time she did it, it was in Rio in 2016. What a lot of people forget is that she led that team to a silver medal in the 2020 games that took place 2021 in Tokyo. But because of the controversy that swelled about how she was going about her business, it looked as though people were trying to label things such as she was unpatriotic and and that she was a coward. And I mean, I heard a whole lot of ridiculous stuff. And this was done to a person who already showed her patriotism and her excellence. And she didn't deserve it. But the will to win just was too strong for her to say, you can have it. She wanted to prove that she is a champion for real. And that is at the core of today's cover story. And we're going to celebrate Simone Biles today, because that's just how we roll. Now, Simone, she didn't really need to prove a thing to a soul. You know, she returned in 2023 and became the most decorated gymnast of all time. She didn't have to prove it then. She didn't have to prove it when she made the Olympic team a third time. She most certainly did not have to prove it when she began the women's gymnastics team final yesterday by nailing the event where everything went sideways 3 years ago, which would be the floor exercise. Not even when she stood atop the podium listening to the Star Spangled Banner for I don't know how many times for her gold-studded career. But this Olympic gold medal, this is definitely hers. And it should be hers. She should celebrate this. And it's also for the 3 veteran teammates who went through that fiasco 3 years prior in Tokyo. And each of them bear their own scars for the Tokyo Games. Because the ridiculousness from the haters and the miscreants who decided to pick at, criticize, and demean Biles 3 years ago can simply kick all sorts of rocks. They were wrong then. They were ignorant then. They were extremely obtuse to the fact that her physical safety was at stake. And they're no longer entitled to that space in her head or on her bandwagon or anywhere else near her space, period. They were ignorant and wrong about her then. They are ignorant and wrong about her now. Even before she took to Paris, Biles is the greatest and was then the greatest gymnast ever. And I'm not talking about the greatest woman. I'm not talking about the greatest woman American gymnast. I'm not talking about the greatest woman gymnast. Simone Biles, and yes, I will say it again. In fact, I will say it to where you actually can see me. I'll even say it to where I will pause this and you can see me. Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast of all time, male or female. Forget your feelings. The facts are right there. Let me continue. Now, where was I? If you needed her 5th Olympic gold medal to agree with that, something's wrong with you. Biles really wanted to do this for herself, and I'm glad she got a chance to do it for herself. And if anyone deserves it, it's definitely her. Now, Simone, basically just keeping account of her career in the past 10 years, she says, quote, I really don't keep count. Talk about keeping count of medals. I don't keep stats. I just go out there. I do what I'm supposed to do. And I'm doing what I love and enjoying it. That's really all that matters to me. Close quote. And Simone, that's all that should matter. Because right now, you don't have to prove a thing. And if you're still enjoying it, we're still enjoying watching you and your excellence shine. Since Biles has returned, and this year in particular, there has been a light a lightness to her. There's been a pep in her step. There's been a heartwarming and inspiring glow about her. And she's doing gymnastics not to impress the country, not to impress her teammates, but she's doing it because this is something that she deep down inside wants to do. And not because of anybody else's ridiculous expectations of her. She has her own standards. And she doesn't have to worry, and she doesn't worry about beating anyone else's. Nor should she, because her standards when it comes to gymnastics far exceed the second place standard. And has been that way for the last 8 years. So she'll say she's cured of the anxiety that brought on she called it the twisties back in Tokyo, which caused her to lose her sense of where she was in the air. But she went home, she went back to the lab, she did the work, and she moved beyond it. She even had therapy session the morning before the team took to the gymnastics arena to claim their gold medal. The difference was evident almost from the start Tuesday night. Now, just like when the silver medal Tokyo team 3 years ago, the Americans started on the vault. And just like then, Simone did a vault with a twisting element to it. A Ching instead of an Amanar, but that's beside the point. When Biles stood at the end of the runway, she looked serious but not fearful. Rather, she looked ready than uncertain. Cecile Landy, who is both the U.S. coach and one of Biles' personal coaches, said, quote, "I'm not going to lie. That did cross my mind," close quote. But Biles soared high into the air, twisting 1.5 times, and she landed on her feet. Now, she had to take a small hop to steady herself. Look, that's allowed because the Ching is one of the most difficult vaults after all. But she did what she planned to do. And she did what her body wanted her to do. Saying, quote, "I was relieved. I was like, woo!" Because I no flashbacks or anything, but I did a lot of relief. And as soon as I landed the vault, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. Close quote. On the sidelines, Landy and Jordan Childs jumped up and down as if they were on springs. They know better than anyone the weight of that moment. Childs also trains with Biles in the World Champion Center in Spring. It's a northern suburb of Houston. The rest of the world saw a vault, but what Biles saw was a reclamation of her Olympic story. Landy said, quote, "Nobody knows truly what the past 3 years have been like for her. Just to be able to compete well, it was just super relief. And today, or yesterday in this case, she just proved to herself, more importantly, that she is still on top of the world," close quote. Short of the U.S. bus getting lost on the way to the arena, there wasn't any doubt the Americans was going to win gold. They have won every world and Olympic title going back to 2011, and the only team to beat them isn't even there. But what began as a competition quickly resulted in a coronation, and this was the biggest competition in their lives, but it looked more like 4 friends having fun with one another. And when Simone finished her uneven bars routine, her grin was so bright it rivaled the lights that twinkled in the Eiffel Tower at night. She and her teammates just simply were so loose, and they were picking people out of the crowd and dancing and generally really having the time of their lives. Biles actually saying, quote, "We had fun. We enjoyed each other's time out there, and we just did our gymnastics," close quote. So dominant were the American women's team that even with the fall on the beam by Childs, Biles knew that all she had to do on the floor exercise was land her passes upright. She went out of bounds on 2 of them. However, with her difficulty, it really didn't matter all that much. She was beaming when she finished, waving her hands to acknowledge the thunderous cheers for her. One of them, probably the most prized of people applauding, Chicago Bears safety Jonathan Owens, aka Simone Biles' husband. And so while he witnessed all of this, he probably twirled an American flag in the stands, watching his wife and the rest of that team stand at the edge of the floor podium to wait her score. And there were no signs of apprehension or concern. They already knew they were champions. The final score was just simply confirmation of what they've been feeling all this while. And of course, when it came, Smiles beamed again. She had the courage to confront her demons and come back to her sport. And not only do it while the world was watching, she did it while being herself and showing the world that there is a gymnast that has been born, that has existed, and that exists on the planet today that is as good as she is. There's good, there's great, there's elite, there's Olympic level, and in the world of gymnastics, there is Simone Biles level. There isn't a gymnast that can touch her. Not now. We'll see if a gymnast can ever touch her. But as of July 30th, 2024, as of July 30th, 2024, there hasn't been a gymnast created that has performed the feats that this young woman has. And there hasn't been a gymnast that has changed the game as fundamentally as Simone Biles. All I have to do is just stand up and applaud, because this young woman faced her fears, faced them down, faced her critics, faced them down. And now those same critics who wanted to claim that she was un-American and that she was a coward, now they can shut up, and those keyboard warriors can recede in the recesses of the dungeons and the sewers in which they dwell. And now this queen can take her rightful place, which is at the top of the gymnastics throne. All hail Simone Biles. And that concludes today's cover story. Now, if you want to hear probably a little bit more of a sports breakdown of this, I got a program for you. One man is from the city, another man's from the country, but both are Kentuckians and both represent the Commonwealth very well, and they love to talk University of Kentucky anything. Join my man Terry Brown and my man Vinny Hardy as they talk cats stuff. No, not kittens. No, Kentucky Wildcats. Cats Talk Wednesday. You can catch them live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, the Vinny Hardy YouTube channel, and the Cats Talk WED Facebook page. That's Cats Talk Wednesday. You can catch Terry and Vinny live today and every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3. Just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, the Vinny Hardy YouTube channel, and the Cats Talk Wednesday or Cats Talk WED Facebook page. That's Cats Talk Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central later today. But later on today on BS3 Presents the Morning Show with Colt Johnson, you're a winner. What is it like to be a winner? That's what we'll discuss on Lighting the Way. You are watching BS3 Presents the Morning Show with Colt Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Show Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You're listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. We'll be right back right after this.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Kentucky, home of great natural scenery and Churchill Downs. The Bluegrass State has offered 3 jewels. The University of Kentucky.
And the Kentucky coronation is complete.
Terry Brown.
Some people from Louisville, from Kentucky, I don't like the Derby. Okay, cool. Like, all right, I'm going to keep it moving.
And Vinny Hardy.
Us growing up on the border, we all went to school with Tennessee fans. We all had some teachers that was Tennessee fans.
BS3 Network proudly presents 2 men with Kentucky on their minds and all the sports matters at hand. Cats Talk Wednesday. Live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready, we ready, we ready for y'all. We ready, we ready, we ready.
The Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central.
Welcome back to BS3 Presents the Morning Show with Cole Johnson. I'm so glad that you're here, Shifter. Cole Johnson back at it one more time. And let's go to Shift Nation, shall we? You have Victor Locke, VLOCK83, or Victor Locke. Victor saying, good morning to one and all in Shift Nation. Kingpin Snowman and Espresso McCoffee, good morning to the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson. Big congratulations to Simone Biles. I agree with you. He goes on to say, he told all her haters to sit down and take a big, fat, juicy. Oh, yes, she did. In fact, let me do it one more time. Haters, you deserve one more round of this for you to clown the queen that is Simone Biles, for you to clown the greatest gymnast of all time. You all need to sit down and take a whole bunch of... All right. Now, from celebrating the winner that is Simone Biles to celebrating the winner that is within you. And that's what we're going to touch on right now in Lighting the Way. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you so much for you being in the midst. Your word says, when 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, you will be in the midst. And all of us in your name are gathered for you. Thank you for coming in here and just creating the atmosphere that is to lighten our load, brighten our day, and give us a charge to do your will in all we undertake. And we hope that our works find favor in your sight. Have us understand that when we do tie our lives to you, when we draw nigh to you and you draw nigh to us, then that means that when we are the righteousness of God, we are the ultimate of champions. That is who we are. That is what we are. Because you're a good, good Father. That's who you are. And I'm loved by you. That's who I am. And they are loved by you. And that's who they are. Have us remind ourselves on a daily, just as if you said to us that we should be transformed by the renewal of our minds, that we understand, that we keep getting that renewing of our minds, that we are winners because we are tied to you. We are champions because we are linked to you. We are the ultimate champions because you are the ultimate coach of our lives. And may the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be always acceptable in your sight. Oh Lord, you are my strength, my rock, and my redeemer. And may this message be devoid of my ego. All of you, none of me, is represented in the following words I'm going to say. In Jesus' name, amen. So here we are. Winning. Now we got a chance to talk about Simone Biles, who is the ultimate winner in gymnastics. But that's just one aspect of being a winner. There are many other aspects. One of the biggest key aspects, and you can think about it, who you align yourself with, who, how you eat, how you think, what you put inside of you, both with food and with the information that you disseminate and download into. How you feel, how you think, how you move, how you live. The things that you learn, both scholastically and in the hard knocks of life. All of these things are tied to how you can be a champion, how you can be a champion on a job, how you can be a champion as an entrepreneur. All of it is tied to one aspect, and that is Jesus. He is the ultimate author and finisher of our faith, obviously, but he also is, if you think of gymnastics, he is basically the Bella Caroli of our lives. He knows what to say it, what to do, when to do it in our lives, so we can have the maximum effect on this earth, and hopefully the maximum effect when we get into heaven as well. So I was thinking, I was like, Lord, I'm all aglow about Simone Biles having this golden redemption. What can I say that can really help me, and hopefully can help the fellow shifters as well? And he was like, son, just turn to the book of Deuteronomy. I got something for you, sir. I got something for you. I'm like, all right, Lord, lay it on me. And here it is, chapter 20, verse 4. And he says, for the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you the victory. In the words of Cisco, let me say it again. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you the victory. I mean, it's almost as if you have someone who is your shield, who's going to take a lot of the weight off of the competition that's set before you, so that victory is not necessarily something that you strive for. It is something you should expect. Hallelujah. Isn't that something? That is the God we serve. So how does the Lord go before you to fight? Well, I mean, we've seen this in sports movies a lot. You know, you have the inspirational message that is being said and the things that we should do, that person should do, and the tools that you have that the coach or the trainer is reminding this warrior of. You put all this work, you lifted all the weights, you ran all those miles, you did it for this moment here. You have the tools, you watched the film, you studied the film, you read the books, you studied the reports. You did all this preparation for this moment here. Now it's time for you to actually go out there and execute all of what we have imparted upon you to win this battle. And then you pray. Well, we would all be led to assume that the prayer is the God going before us, but no. God going before us started when the battle was put before you. In certain cases, before the battle was put before you. But definitely you see God battling and going before you when the battle has been presented. For example, college. You know that's a 4-year trek for most. So God is going to battle before you already. The end for you, or the end for him is, okay, you know at the end of this, you have a degree. So there's going to be a lot of long nights. There's going to be a lot of tough papers you're going to write. There's going to be some exams that you don't even want to think about taking, but I am here to make the road smooth. I'm here to pave that road. So any roadblock you see or any pothole you may stumble upon, they'll be smoothed over because I'm going to fight before you. And I'm going to fight for you from minute 1 till the moment 4 years later when you walk across the stage, you grab the diploma, you grab the degree in one hand, and you shake the dean of the school with the other. That's how the Lord goes before you to fight. And prayer is how you do it. And the simple verse of pray incessantly. You know, tap into the understanding that God is there with you. I'll give you this understanding. I think people may have a different understanding of prayer when I say it this way. You know, when someone wants something of you or something of yours, but they don't ask you, well, you're not going to be willing to give it to them. You want to wait until you know they need your services. So you won't provide that service until that person comes to you and says, yeah, can I, whatever. And then you're more than willing to lend that helping hand because you heard the need be placed upon you. That's what a prayer is. It is God hearing the need to be placed upon him. And he said this word, cast your cares onto me. That's what I'm here for. That's basically what God is saying to us. That's basically what Jesus is saying. I'm here for that. That's why I'm here. I'm here because you need me. And the love that I want, I need you. And that is how the relationship is formed. And prayer is that understanding of, okay, so you do need me in this moment. You do know that I am here, and you do know that I am your God, and I am the one that is going to bring you from faith to faith and glory to glory. That delights him. That's what a prayer is, and that's what a prayer does. So how should you handle enemies that are right on your very doorstep or even in your house? So, if the Lord your God is the one who goes before you to fight against your enemies and fight for you to do that, I'm going to be completely blunt. It's going to be the exact same as if it is a stranger who is an enemy. The Lord will go right before you. He'll battle that. He'll fight that fight against the enemy that you do know, just as fervently as against an enemy you don't know. Because the ultimate is to give you the victory. Now, the victory may be that you heal the divide, but that still is a victory all the same, because the perception has been changed. And that's what families do. And this is something I think people miss. Jesus, the greatest minister in the history of civilization. Any minister that you see, man or woman, comes a distant second to Jesus. There hasn't been a minister who has been better than him. And I challenge anybody to tell me otherwise. That ain't happened. Guess where he had the most difficulty ministering to? In his very own hometown. Because people didn't believe in it. And it's funny how that is. Strangers will believe in the power that you possess and the power that you provide and the goodness that you have more than people who have been with you, who claim to be A1 since day one, because they think limiting thoughts about you, limiting abilities of you, limiting actions about you. So you should handle the enemies the same that you know that's in your house, or that's a friend of yours, or claim to be a friend of yours, the same as if it is a stranger. Put God on the case, and God will heal that too. And he'll fight that battle just the same, just as fervently, just as strongly on your behalf. So what type of victory is obtained? Well, obviously, one of the victories that's obtained is the understanding that you operated under a scripture that says, with God for me, who could be against me? That's what this means in being a winner. You're tapping into the scripture that says, if God be for me, who in the world could be against me? Because if God's for you, nobody could be against you, but they'll try. And it's not necessarily meaning if God's for you, everybody will be on your team and on your side. Some will, obviously. It's basically saying if God's for you, it doesn't matter who is against you. They could be against you all day, night, and week, and month, and year long. If God's for you, that's all you need. Take Simone Biles, for example. I believe that was part of the therapy. I think she learned that, well, I wanted to please all these people, and it seemed to be easy for me when I did it in Rio 8 years ago, but, in 2016, but when it came to Tokyo, 5 years later, I just was not myself. And I could not believe how many people hated me. I just can't believe it. And I know somewhere between then and now, which is almost exactly 3 years, somewhere, somehow, the Holy Spirit had to get within her and said, sweetie, baby girl, all you need to do is just rely on me. I'm with you. I'm with you, Simone. I got you, Simone. Reach up and grab my hand. I got you, Simone, and you're going to win. You know why? Because you already have. You already have. So that means that I already have. Not because of what you've done, because of what I've done. So when you have this understanding of victory, you know that you have God with you, and you activating it, God before you, who could be against you. You activating that. Another type of victory is you are being the righteousness of God. You are operating as an agent of the Holy Spirit. You're acting as a representative of Jesus because you're being Christ-like. If you're saying that I'm relying on the power of God to actually get me through to this, that's a victory too, because that's a victory of you transcending being, thinking, and existing only as a fleshly human being, but as a spiritual one. And I don't mean holier than thou. I mean that you're operating under the spirit, not under the flesh. You know the saying, though the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. That's what Paul said basically in terms of a lot of things, especially sin. So you have all of this. You're dealing with all of these things and you're obtaining this victory, and you have it. And there's many ways that you have it. So who's the victory for once you attain it? That's a really good question. Who is the victory for once you get it? Once you gain it? Once you grab for it and you get it? It's who's it for? In certain ways, it is for you. I would be lying to you otherwise. Yes, it's for you. But it's not all for you. It really more is for others. Why do you think that we have the manifesto of going out to the world and preaching the gospel to the ends of the earth? Why do you think Jesus came on this earth? It wasn't to glorify him. I mean, himself. We glorify him, obviously, but Jesus didn't come for him to be glorified. He came so that the Father to be glorified, and so that he can give us the tools as to how we're supposed to do it. And how we're ultimately supposed to do it is supposed to witness to one another, one to another, one to another, one to another. That's why this platform exists, because I want to actually obtain that understanding with this platform, that I witness one to another, because this is the victory that I gained. This is a lifelong goal that I've achieved, and now I want to share in that with others. And why do I want to share in that with others? Because I want to share with others how beautiful it is to do what it is that God wants you to do, that God places upon you, and how beautiful it feels, and how important it is to execute that. There's a saying, especially when you think about Simone Biles, winning is the greatest deodorant. And what that means is there's times you have moments in sports where you can go off sides and off kilter, but if you have that W, everything that's negative fades. And you see it in politics all the time. I'm trying to think. The best example of that would be Ronald Reagan, actually. So people were basically saying that after he went to Hollywood and then he became the governor of California, and then he wanted to raise his national profile, he then wanted to try his hand at being president. Well, we all know the story that he became president and served 2 terms. But 4 years before his first presidential election victory, the 1976 Republican primary, He went against Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford was not the best candidate. But Ronald Reagan wasn't all the way his effervescent, tongue-in-cheek, aw shucks personality we got a chance to witness for 8 years from 1981 to 1989. He wasn't all the way there yet. And he wasn't the political muscle that he became in 1980 and 1984. In 1976, it was like, oh, this actor that governed California, what does he want to be president for? People didn't think about 1976, and they don't think about 1976 when it comes to Reagan. They think about him being a two-term president and being probably one of the two greatest presidents in the last 80 years. Michael Jordan, another example, if we go to sports. 6 championships in 8 years, and never went to a 7th game in the finals, never lost a final. But people, unless you really want to hate on him, never bring up the fact that he lost in four games in the first round in 1985, and 3 in 1986, and 3 in 1987, and lost 5 games in the conference semifinals in 1988, and lost in 6 in the conference finals in 1989, and lost in 7 in the conference finals in 1990. They don't bring that up with Michael Jordan. I'm not talking about fans. I'm just talking about analysts and perception. They don't bring up those things because, remember, winning is the greatest deodorant. It washes that all out the way. It's all about the 6 rings he won from 1991 to 1993 and 1996, 1998. Being a winner, that is what's the most important thing. That's what's the most important factor. That is what's the most important element to witnessing to a human being. They want to know that, yeah, you suffered and yeah, you struggled, because they want to know in the midst of their struggle, they can get out of it themselves. So if they have that struggle, they want to see what it looks like when they struggle no longer. They want to see what it's like. It's raining right now in their lives. They want to see what it's like when you get out of that rain cloud and it's no longer raining in their lives and it's nothing but just rainbows and sunshine. They want that. They need to see that. That's what hope is. That's what our witnessing provides. Hope. Hope that you can succeed. Hope that you can survive. Hope that you can thrive. But ultimately, hope that you can win. And when you can, when you have God ultimately in your life. And that is all the time I have. Thank you, Shifter, for being such an integral part of this show and even my life. And if you want to be part of this show live, all you have to do is go on to the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel and do so as BS3 presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. For all of us here at the BS3 Network, Coleman Media Incorporated, and the Morning Shift, I am Cole Johnson, here to say in parting, as I always do, if you lack commitment, you will never start. If you lack consistency, you will never finish. And if you lack love, Shifter, you most certainly will never conquer. Until we meet again in 23 hours, Shifter, be blessed and continue to be a blessing. Why do I say continue to be a blessing? Because you already are. And how do I know you're a blessing? Because your presence right now is blessing me. My only hope is that my presence is blessing you. Have a great rest of your morning. Have a great rest of your day, Shifter. I love you and God bless you. So long.